double click us. Oh,
Text message.
it's always on the Google sheet. We've always had it there. I'll make sure everybody gets it. It hasn't moved.
I can't locate it on my Google.
Okay, all right. So I'll make sure that everybody can get it. I'll set that up now. Do you need the?
I got it.
You got it?
Almost. There's so many like group things on my phone. You guys in it.
Really? And then when they're talking, you can find it more so I can get my phone back.
Okay.
Well, let's just get started.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hey.
Hi. This is Palm Sunday.
Okay.
Happy Palm Sunday.
Happy Palm Sunday, everyone.
Happy Palm Sunday.
So today we're going to have a product video, LOC product video, which is going to be done by Jean. So Jean, are you ready? Thank you. It's okay.
Well, could you click on it?
Next.
When it comes to cleaning laundry products for your home, you want the best. We've been making safe and effective home cleaning products for more than 50 years. And we've learned a lot about making laundry service dish cleaners that are better naturally. Better because Amway Home Products clean exceptionally well and they're highly concentrated, so you use less and save money. Naturally, because they contain key ingredients derived from nature, like coconut oil, orange oil, and aloe vera. They are biodegradable, dermatologist and allergy tested, and almost all recognized by the Environmental Protection Agency's Safer Choice program. Amway Home Products are safe, highly effective, and better for your family and your home. You deserve to know what you're bringing into your home. That's why we list all the ingredients in our products and never use harmful additives or chemicals. Our products are backed by Amway Promise with a 180-day satisfaction guarantee. Try Amway Home Products in your home and see and feel the difference.
That's my video. Now we have a section where we do customer, we talk about a part of the process. And the part of the process we're going to be talking is, sorry. Now we talk about the product that we just showed, our experience with that. So anybody has any experience selling LOC? Or customer experience or personal experience with LOC?
Yeah, we got us here. All right. All right.
Let's say the experience will happen.
Roger, can I do it?
Yes.
Yes, on the right.
Yes. What happened? This is yesterday.
Yeah. And talked to my mom yesterday, and she brought our products.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I guess I'll go in depth with it. Yeah, so Java's pretty much, she's like, hey, I want to kick off this month, say I want to definitely, hit my goal, 100 PV for this month. For sure, he qualified. He wants to make sure I get his qualification and to, get this money. He said, hey, I got to make some money in this business now. So I was like, absolutely no problem. So you pretty much got a whole lot of, you went off this. And of course, one of the people I was this was his mom. And of course, she's like, yeah, she could definitely support me. So we pretty much was right here in this room. We did, she's in Texas. So we did a hangout. And we showed her the products. I brought all my personal products out and we just went through them all. And she brought a whole lot. I think it's about $100 worth of products. Wow. A few of them being LOC. So yeah, definitely excited for that, for Jarvis and everything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'll go real quick. I just had a customer sale this past week. I have this particular customer of mine. Nurtured her for a little while and madly in love with the Legacy of Clean Scrub Buds. That stuff is amazing. She loves it so much, and she loves that it doesn't do damage to her pots and pans when she's scrubbing it, and it lasts forever. The only time she switches them out is like when she does macaroni and it gets too stuck inside of the thing. She just doesn't ever want to clean it out. But the actual integrity of the product is phenomenal. She never sees it, it's stainless steel, so it doesn't rust or what have you. And also she's a very good customer of mine with the kitchen cleaner. Kitchen cleaner for life, man. I'm telling you. And they have a family of 3 and with a little kid. And and they still use so much of it, but still it lasts forever. Like I think they've been using the same particular product set. I gave them the squirt bottle together with the concentrate. That then 4 months and running, they're still using it regularly. Yeah, problematic. But anyway, it's good. Good that the customers like it. You know. So that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so what Andrea and I did is with my stepmom, we to get them introduced to our product lines, we started them off on the LOC SA8 laundry detergent. And we mathematically showed them where for each box of SA8 you buy, you save $45.
Wow.
Okay. Now, yeah, we mathematically proved it step by step. You guys know me as an engineer, so. Okay. And so and they have been ordering that now for years now. Okay. And since then we have used that to develop them as customers. Okay. So now they're using some of our Neutralite and some of the beauty products and everything. But it started with LOC. So my experience has been is look at your family members, and tell them, hey, let's keep this economy within our family, like everybody else does. And I can show you how you could save money and get something that's better for the environment and your machine and for your skin, especially those who have eczema, and start them there. Why would they not support you unless if they don't like you? All right, that's mine.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, you're host.
Thank you everyone for sharing your experiences with LOC and customer experience with LOC.
You had one too, right?
My mom. But I experienced it before. Okay. So my mother, my sons, they were drawing on her walls because grandma put the idea in their head. Please don't draw on the walls. They didn't know to draw on the walls before, but she said, please don't draw on the walls. And they just like, oh, draw on the walls. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, you got to pay for a whole new paint job. I'm like, hold on a second, Mom. Pulled out the LOC wipes and wiped it off. And she's just like, order me a pack of those magic wipes. But that was just my experience. That was a while ago. But she still has that bottle as well. But next we have our stream that's gonna be done by my awesome husband, Brandon.
Hey guys, thank you for sharing your LOC experiences. They were definitely awesome. And thank you for giving me the platform to share. The stream that I was listening to recently was. All right. You want to be on camera, man? All right. Go ahead. Sweet. It was by Vishal and Sonica Jane. It was about mindset and skill set. Well, mindset plus skill set plus action set equals success. It's BWW 2154. I have a whole bunch of just like nuggets from what I listened to. I kind of like put in like note form. But if you're not clear about your destiny, you'll always doubt the journey. And doubt has killed more dreams than failure ever has. You have to be as excited about the work as you are about the rewards. He also said that we have 3 important resources: time, money, and energy. They need to be prioritized. He also went into, everybody has the same amount of time in a day. And, after you go through work or, traveling to work, lunch, your activities as far as going to like the grocery store or something like that, you're kind of left with like an average of 4 hours. And he asked, how are you going to spend your 4 hours? Your like non-productive time, spare time, leisure time, whatever you want to call it. You compete with yourself in that time. When you're at work, you're competing with your coworkers or, whoever else is in your work field. But those 4 hours, you're competing with yourself. So you need to put all your focus into those 4 hours. So many things try to take away, that prime time, and like television. I remember Compton saying a while ago when he was in New Jersey, like he used to like watching, sports or I forgot what show it was or whatever it was, the news. But he noticed he just sat on the couch and he wanted to change all that. So, he started prioritizing that free time to, get out in the field and go all up and down Route 1 and 9. Yep, 1 and 9, New Jersey. But TV show producers and all the entertainment, they focus on getting the attention of the people in the E-class, the employees, because the ones that are, in the other quads are busy building their small businesses, or the right sides are busy probably on a yacht in Hawaii or something like that, or, on a plane covering 5 continents in 24 hours, because they have the time to think outside the box. So we need to own our prime time. Don't let anyone own our precious 4 hours. Expecting results without change, without you changing your mindset, and without action is like waiting for a ship at the airport. It's never going to happen. We don't get results without some type of action, without some form of ritual. Ritual meaning action we do consistently. Do your uplines have more time than us to go out and make progress in their business? No. The difference is they made it a must for them to go out every day and connect. It changed their life change. It changed their life. Their rituals gave them momentum. Distractions like the one I just got now, got a text. Happens only if you let them. Delayed gratification only happens when you're pursuing a goal aggressively. People don't decide their future, they decide their daily habits. And their daily habits decide their futures. So decisions shape your destiny. To read without reflecting is like eating without digesting. I say that, because, the daily habits in which you're doing the accountability messages with your upline are, like your daily habits, or going out and making connections, or, what is it called? Interruptions, going out and making interruptions, that's your reflecting on what you read and, how to interact with people. And always remember that success is a journey, not the destination. The way Michelle explains it is we all have to commute a bit to arrive at this destination, being here. And we didn't wait until every green light happened or, every door opened. We knew our destination and we were willing to accept everything that journey had to offer, traffic lights, potholes, kids making it difficult to get out the house, or just being super comfortable watching kung fu movies. But we made it to the destination.
Which one are you talking about?
The circle, the triangle right there. Yeah. He was the center of the triangle. It means, to me, it means that what matters is not necessarily where you are at the end, but what you accomplish while trying along the way. It means that no matter what, as long as you try, you can never fail. And I'm gonna end it off with saying, a dream is not the thing you see in your sleep, but it's the thing that doesn't let you sleep. Thank you, guys.
Very nice.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for giving us those nuggets from the stream that you listened to. Definitely awesome stream. And thank you for ending it off the way you did about a dream and, it being something that, is not what you see when you're sleeping, but it's something that keeps you from sleeping. That's pretty awesome to remember. Next, we have the book by Trevor.
Awesome. Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you for all the compliments on my shirt. What to the world? What to the world? That's my new catchphrase. See, I can't say it no more. So I've been reading The Go Giver Influencer. It's a great read. I have these cargo pants, and I can just put it in my pocket right here, so I can just whip it out during lunch. It's actually really convenient. I don't think I can do it with the bigger books, but this book actually takes a different take on the storytelling aspect. It's kind of, the book is read through the eyes of certain people. So the first chapter is through Jackson Hill, and Jackson Hill is an Jackson Hill is an up-and-coming business owner. He created his own brand of dog food that's healthier and better for your dogs. So it turns out that he goes to this corporate office to get a deal that could potentially save his business, because the loan that he owes to the bank is coming up, and they're like giving him a week to pay it back. So one thing that I like in the book is they go over what people's idea of influence or where they think it comes from. So in the beginning of the book, they have a conversation amongst each other. There's Sam Rosen and Joe. So Sam Rosen is like, if I asked most people what creates influence, what would they say? And Joe says, without hesitation, money, position, maybe a history of outstanding accomplishments. Sam nodded, grinning, ha, you're right. That's exactly what they say. But then he says, those things don't create influence. Influence creates them, which is, yeah, you just hear the wows. Also defined what he called the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. So I kept that in mind when reading both Jackson, and then what's interesting is in chapter 2, the person that he interviews with, his name is Waters. She's the gray suit and tie businesswoman who works in corporate. And then we take it and we follow her shoes in the second chapter. And it turns out that in this book, a lot of the things that Miss Waters said to Jackson were actually like miscued. She definitely meant what she said, but Jackson took it the wrong way. It's like, what I put. So at one point, Jackson, he got the response from Miss Waters saying, this is very impressive. We like you, and we see possibilities working with you. At first, his heart leapt out of his chest. He was like excited, impressed with me, excited to work with me, but then he thought about it. Wait, possibilities? What are you saying? That's like saying, for sure, maybe. So then Ms. Water also said there's 2 points. We want you to supply us on a national basis and have an exclusive arrangement. And in Jackson, that stopped his heart. It's like national, exclusive, because he was only a small business at the moment. So he couldn't see himself spreading so far when it's supposed to be homegrown, healthier food. And he cooks it in his own kitchen. So if it went all over the world, he wouldn't be able to cook it and it wouldn't be fresh. It'd be sent through trucks and it's like, that's not fresh. An exclusive, like what about all of my friends and family and all of the customers I built now? And what's funny is he completely misinterpreted her, what she said when she meant exclusive. So when he thought an exclusive pull out of all existing client stores, what she meant was there would be like a 3-month or 4 to 5 month period where he slowly integrate out of that, and he'd turn all of his clientele into new, and he probably wouldn't even have to lose his prior clientele. It's just so that he wouldn't have any future commitment. That way he can expand. Now, toward the end, what I really liked is what he actually stood up for himself. He spoke up to all of the grievances he had, whether it was the national or the exclusive. He wanted to make sure what he wanted was important. But in the back of his mind, he was like, I need this deal. I need this money. Because even if I can't get the money now, this deal being signed on paper, if I show this to the bank, that's like, you have the money. So don't get rid of my loan, or don't try to sue me for whatever money I've already borrowed from you. So when he walked out of the door, he was like, you are a successful businessman. You are going to close this deal, but it didn't feel like he was going to close this deal. And he didn't feel like a successful businessman. He actually felt like a man who had just seen the executioner. Now, when we go over to Jillian's side, she's actually having issues because there's this corner office person that she has to talk to, who's the VP of the company, to give him to find out whether or not the ideas that Jackson proposed are plausible, because these are going to cost money. He wants to do something slower, maybe, and also expand kitchens. That way he can still do the homegrown, home food, like cleanly dog food. That's what he wants to do, but that's going to cost money. Not to mention there's rumors going around that this man is supposed to retire and she wants his job. And when she gets this job, if she gets this job, she can afford to put her daughter in the school she wants to and get her that pony she's been asking for. Now, toward the part where she was basically trying to be very like specific about how she felt about the interview, she didn't feel great about the interview, but she didn't want Jackson's line, or she didn't just want Jackson's line, she needed it. She needed him just as much as he needed her. Because she's no good at office politics, but she knew that this much was certain. If she could land the Jackson Hill account, she had a shot at this vice presidency promotion.
Okay.
So I wrote some notes based on their conversations. One, both, they really needed each other, but based on how they talked to each other, it sort of confused them. And one thing that I'm learning in reading this all is this is heavily people over profit. That's basically how it's like, based on how much you understand the person you're talking to, is whether or not you can relate to them, whether you can trust them, whether you can work with them. Because the money wasn't important. Because she actually has something that she said. She wanted to feel her own efforts having an impact, a real impact. That was why she joined this company in the first place. Not just for a roof over her heads, but because she wanted to make a difference. And the same thing can be said about Jackson, who wants to do something great because he loves animals, and he wants to do something that's positive for the environment. But it seems that they both had each other pegged wrong, from the get-go. And they both have goals bigger than themselves, so they have a lot in common. And they also both think that they know what each other need. Now, I'm a skimmer, so even though I haven't, like chapter 4 says something about a judge, so I'm assuming it's not gonna be too good. But somebody
read the whole book to us now.
Yeah. I'm not.
All right.
But I'm just gonna state this one bit here. The 5 secrets of genuine influence, which goes into the people before profit that I was talking about before. 1, breathe, master your emotions. And this goes in line with you can feel how you want to feel, but you have to be calm. Because a lot of people's opinions let them sway their emotions. So how you feel about a certain topic or how you feel about a certain situation that you're in can completely upset you. But like Celia was saying, as IBOs, we have to bring the calm, the happy, the chill. If we're positive, everyone's positive. Like news. Number 2, listen. Step into the other person's shoes. So you have to be empathetic. You have to feel how they feel. Number 3, smile. Set the frame. We were just talking about happiness. If you're smiling, 9 times out of 10, I mean, sometimes it gets weird. Like when you walk past people in a grocery store, like some dude, and you smile because it's like, oh, look, a whole family. I remember that story from last time, Carol. He should have smiled back. Number 4, be gracious. Communicate with tact and empathy. And number 5, trust. Let go of having to be right. And these are all of the things that build genuine influence. And they go into detail, but I'll let y'all read that.
Wonderful.
Woo, woo! Good stuff, man. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Trevor, for that. Like, there were so many nuggets out of that book. Definitely brought me back to a message that I even heard today about that we could even utilize for our business. Is a lot of times we limit what our power is, and like we stay inside of the box, and we think that because the situation looks the way it does, that we can't get to the other side unless we logically come out. But sometimes you don't have to logically come out. Sometimes you just have to think outside the box, and then you can come outside the box. So that was pretty awesome. Next, we have our process huddle, which we'll be talking about board plan 2 and follow-up 2. So anybody have any experiences in Tallahassee? Washington, Virginia, North Carolina.
And it's Alex.
Is there one, Alex Shion?
No.
Board plan 2, follow-up 2. Nobody have anything?
Somebody must be doing it.
I have, but I'll speak at the end.
All right, well, I'll just go now.
I guess so. Bye.
All right, so when you look at the huddles, you may ask yourself, we just talked about board plan 1 and follow-up 1. So why do we need to talk about board plan 2 and follow-up 2? So what I tell people when I'm showing the plan, this is my experience now. When I tell them when I'm showing the plan, the board plan 1, if they're not, we got to differentiate, right? Board plan 1 can be one-on-one, or it could be at an information session. Right. So if it's one-on-one, a board plan 1, or even at MG2, when I'm telling them what are the next steps that are coming up, a common frequently asked question is, why do I need to come and see the plan twice? And I tell them, have you ever watched a movie before, and the second time you watched it, you got so much more out of it? And they say, yeah. It's the same thing with a book, or if you're listening to a song or whatever. But I say it's the same thing. Very few people understand the business the first time when they see the plan. So coming to board plan 2 is essential. And then also, if you remember what I said last week, my goal is to attach the candidates to my mentor, Kamta Naja, because, and it's not a trick I'm playing. Kamta Naja are the ones who are going to give a thumbs up after they have seen the email, the offer email, whether or not this person should join us. Or maybe they might look at me and say, boy, you can launch them, but that's your project. Okay, and at that point, you understand? So I tell them coming to one business plan is not good enough for Kamta Naja to evaluate you, and for you to evaluate the team. Okay, so coming to the second board plan is critical, and sometimes the first board plan was just a one-on-one. So all they have seen is just the tip of the spear, just me. They haven't had the human interaction as yet. So at that point, I tell them, you have to come and meet the team. You have to meet my mentors. I have a couple that's coming on Tuesday, and the husband alone wanted to come. And I told him, look, man, You know, I said, listen, the man is the head of the household. Traditionally, it might be different in other families, whatever, but typically, traditionally, okay. And but the woman is the neck, so she will turn that head if she wants to. You know, you know, and that's typical traditionally. Okay, we know there are other ways now. All right, so then I tell them, and besides, if it's something that you want, if it's something that you want, and she doesn't even know what it is, it's going to be an automatic no. And then I go back to what Sanjeev told us, and I'm not teaching here. I'm telling you what I said last Monday. Okay, I mean last Friday or whenever. You know, this is what I actually told him. I told him, if you were going to buy a house, okay, would you take your wife to come and see the house before you bought it? They says yes. I said, well, this here is more impactful and more significant than buying a house, because it's going to take your time, your energy, and even some of your money. Okay, and I got that from Sanjeev. You know, I forgot when he told us that or whatever. You know, and so that's the board plan too. Okay, and then of course, before the board plan here in Atlanta, and you may want to try this, before the board plan, I'm going to book the follow-up too.
Yeah.
Because at the board plan, there's too much going on, too many people talking, you know, and then we got to get back in for the IDO training, you know. So I book it before, and I also tell them why. I tell them why we're going to have it. I tell them, just like what Brandon said, you have 3 budgets. You have your energy budget, your time budget, and your money budget. You know, so I tell them that the last follow-up one we went through, we answered all the questions and discussed the streams and blah, blah, blah. You know, and we talked about your time. Are you available, and are you willing to switch your time around? And then for board follow-up 2, I tell them, you do know. Actually, I asked them a very nice question. Name one company that does not have a startup cost and a monthly maintenance cost. And they can't name one. Even if you have a lemonade stand, you know, it's going to cost to start it, and it's going to cost to keep it going. So I tell them, we want to be fully transparent, because if and when, and I always say that, if and when you launch, okay, if and when you launch, we don't want you to say, how come you never tell me this? Okay, so we lay it out. We use the Kumar sheets, you know, that's what I use. The Kumar sheet says, this is what we're bringing, this is what you're going to bring, this is how much it's going to cost. You know, if you can't pay this, we could bring it down a little bit and work with you on that. Okay, and so that's what I have found successful in the last few launches I've had. So back to the next. Anybody in Tallahassee? Come on now. You know, Silly, Roderick, come on. You guys come up.
Gotcha. I guess I could go. I was going to let all the other leaders. I'll go real quick. It's really tough to go after Kenneth because he's so thorough. I was there taking notes like water there. That's tip of the spear. Teeth in that whole thing. Teeth in that whole thing for sure. You know, and definitely, just as Ken was talking about, you want to make sure that they are fully aware of the financial, the commitments, you know, the investments. And this is where we talk about ditto for sure. Just as Ken talked about, the Kumar sheet is very important, because we all know that if this goes well, as coaches, we take somebody through the process. If it goes well, they're going to have to answer the potential email offer, right? So you always want to make sure you have the answers to those questions in your process. So definitely remember to talk about the ditto, for instance, of course, the startup costs, BSM streaming, all of that, and the brand new X stream. Definitely make sure we have it so we can properly promote it. You know, one app that has it all, kind of like one ring to rule them all, like Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like one app to rule them all. So it's really awesome that way. And also too, we want to talk about why should we prepay our ditto volume, right? That's also a question that will be coming up. And if we as coaches don't do a good job to helping them understand that mindset going through the process, right? When they do get the email with the questions, they're like lost kind of thing, right? And we don't want to put them in a position where they're not winning, right? But yeah, and definitely with us on our side, we have a few people who are going through some things in their life right now. So we always work with them, just as Sanjeev talked about. It's a verbal commitment, right, after the fact. So we always talk about lining up launch dates. This is when you plan to on partnership fully. All of those conversations happen there, and letting them know exactly what it takes to keep this thing, to get this show on the road type of thing. And of course, we help them all along the way with the thinking through the process, right? And that's kind of what we help with. We have a few other follow-up too that we kind of did and had to redo type of thing because people had some changes in their life, and I think we're rebooking some others in some other legs as well. So definitely growth is happening everywhere. So yeah, I'll take it back to anybody else who is having anything else to say about follow-up too. Yeah, okay, back to the host. Yeah, I think that I said they're good to go. Back to the host.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for your experiences in regards to board plan 2 and follow-up 2. Those are definitely some things that we could think about moving forward when we have those meetings. Next, we have the new people session where new people say hello or come up.
Yeah, state your name, who invited you, and what you're excited about.
Awesome.
All right, we have one person coming in Tallahassee.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi everybody. My name is Sarita. I'm Trevor's sister. My first Sunday.
So yeah, buddy.
Welcome.
What did you say?
Oh, he said welcome. He said
welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm excited to just meet new people and learn about everything that you guys have to offer. Been reading the books and I love to read, so that's something that I've just been into doing. So thanks for having me.
Aww, yes, you are.
I just don't know what to say. That's different.
Well, thank you and welcome. And then last we have
The function video.
our function video,
Yeah,
which is going to be done by Jean.
Oh, one thing before you bring up Camp, because I don't want to make an announcement. Right, so before we get back to the host, not next week is the last scheduled thing we have on the P.A.S.E. So next week, we're going to fill out the P.A.S.E. schedule for post spring leadership next week. Back to the host.
Okay.
Thank you for that reminder. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to host today, and thanks Jean for showing that awesome video. We look forward to Spring Leadership, which is coming up really soon, right around the corner. Next, we're gonna have our wrap up by our awesome mentor, Mr. Conta.
Yeah, you go on there.
Great. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
You know, this was a very incredible P.A.S.E today. You know, I mean, it was so informative. Trevor, you did an awesome preview or analogy or whatever of the book there, man. It's incredible, you know, right? And the streaming, you know, you know, it's like everybody today is up the game a little bit, you know. Right? So thank you guys for all of that here. So yeah, except for the Kung Fu part. Then he spoke about Kung Fu. He looked over there at Kenneth and Anthony, you know. And so I gotta figure out this Kung Fu night that these guys have. But anyway, right. Yeah, I think he missed the part where don't say anything to embarrass you offline. You know?
I know Stevie.
By the way, we all got a new BSM, right? Streaming and all that stuff. This thing is incredible, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
We have access to everything here, so it's unbelievable what they put together. So my goal here, basically, with this here, is to listen to all streams that they have and to tell you which one I would like you to focus on. Has anyone listened to the one with Ganesh Shenoy, Process Mindset?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, he said process mindset, but I didn't think it was a lot about the process itself. I think he was talking more about a mindset of an IBO, you know? And it was an incredible stream. I want everyone to listen to it multiple times, in addition to the other two that I spoke about already. So this is something that you listen to all the time, and also in addition to whatever you want to listen. You know? Yes. Trevor Baker, Trevor and Lexi Baker, that's two streaming, and this one here now. Okay. Also, I would like to know what stream do you give to a prospect, right? The first set of streams. Which one do you give them?
The Daniel and one ideal business.
Right. Daniel is one, right? And which one you give the other one to give?
The ideal business partnership.
No, I don't think that's
okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which other ones do you guys give any other ones out here in Tallahassee, or the same two?
I give clarifications.
Charlie Darso.
Yep.
Right. Anya, you want to talk a little bit about what you see?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, darling, but so.
Basically, I was just listening to it with my mom and dad on our way to Palm City Market.
Speak up a little bit.
And it was incredible. Like, I don't understand why anybody would have any questions after listening to that stream, because he literally explains everything like over and over and over again. So it's just like, if you have any questions after that, I don't know if you were listening, but it's like really good for new people. Okay. Yeah.
So before when we would go, they would go out, and they had a habit of arresting the audio system and put on music, So there's no music no more in the car. As simple as that.
Right.
It's streaming wherever you go. So most of the times here in Atlanta, wherever you go, it's an hour away.
Yeah.
So you can, and an hour coming back, or another. So you can listen to 2-3 streaming easily.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what I like about it. He was talking about the mindset of an IBO. What is it that you put your priority on? Like he said, 100 points is not something you should be even thinking about. It's something that is just supposed to be done.
Right.
Right. Just simple as that. It's not like, and or going to a function. You know, it's part of what the business is. You just do it. It's simple as that. You know what I mean? You just do these things. So I want everyone to listen to that streaming over and over and over. Imprint these things on in your subconscious. You know. But again, function is coming up. Make preparations. The ticket will go up after the 18th, right? So if you haven't got your tickets yet after the 18th, you're going to be paying an extra $20. You know, right now, Najan, I'm taking a lady by the name of Natalie. We got a bunch of people in the process at different stages. One is that we did a BP1 follow-up one, and she's coming to the meeting on Tuesday. You know, I did it Saturday, and then she's coming Tuesday. Reason why I'm saying because I want these people to make a decision to come to the function. Which as we're doing the BP1, we spoke about that. You know, so she said, well, you know, just she's gonna check for the time and come out. But, you know, but like Kenneth said, it's very informative. A lot of information was given by Kenneth. Celie also. I don't know why I come up after you guys because there's nothing more I can speak after Celie and Kenneth speak. You know, but I just come up here and repeat everything as everybody said. You know? Right? In fact, one of you should go platinum, so I don't have to come up here and talk no more. How about that? Yeah, we're working on it. Yes, who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? We're working on it. And normally my wife is here. She talks about 8 minutes out of the 10 minutes. You know? And so I'm just filling in this thing like when I was in high school and I had to write a paper and I wanted to write 500 words and I only know it in 350 words. You know, so I put in a lot of fluff. So that's all I'm doing right now. You know, I'm just fluffing up everything here. So you know, but make the preparation. The function is going to be awesome. You know, growth is happening all over the place. From Tallahassee to Celia sent out the report. Locally, right here, I know what's going on. I see it's going on. But what is more important than anything else? This process here, I am seeing more than anything else, personal growth of each and every individual, and that is the first asset that we look to develop. You know, I see Anthony here, Carol, with Kenneth, you know, Brandon, Crystal, you know, in the Tallahassee team. Look at Brandon, right? Just did the book. Was how he did very awesome on that book, you know. Yes. So that's the first asset we developing, and as that gets developed more, then your business will take off faster, you know. And that's where those core runs come in, the 30-day core run, the 90-day core run. One thing I would like to ask, Rodney, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I know Rodney is going to be having a very large Nigerian group coming up soon. Yeah. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that, Rodney?
Yeah, I could talk a little bit. Just been out in the field, and I don't know. Like last week, I think I had like a total of 3 Nigerian contacts. Just being out in the field, and I just kept meeting Nigerians, and I'm like, what the heck is going on with Nigerians these days? So in my huddles with Kamta, I'm like, I keep meeting Nigerians. I don't know. So Kamta said, you're going to be the crown ambassador of Nigeria. So just having fun out there, meeting people, and you know, just connecting with them and just having fun. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? There's people all over the place that is looking for you know, options, right? And like Anya and I are the only ones here today. Nadia had to go to New York. Her great grand aunt, I think she's 97. She's 97 years of age. She fell on hurt herself. So Nadia wanted to go to see her before God forbid if anything happens to her that she passed away. So she's in New York right now. Navina had to work, Anya had to work. I mean, Divya had to work. So it's only Anya and myself here. And we went around, and Anya said she wanted some ice cream. So we went to the ice cream. The owner of the place was very nice, spoke to him. But right there was a young lady, she was pregnant, and a guy with tattoos all over. Normally before I probably want to like, thing, but nowadays I say even girls have tattoos and all that. You don't judge people no more with things like that. And he was right there. I spoke to him. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm looking." So you gotta be out there, like Rodney say. You gotta be out in the field, having fun, enjoying, talking to people, and you will get numbers. And the whole goal is to get 10 people through the process. And like Ganesh, I say maybe out of 10 you'll get two, but from the which is true from the numbers that Naja and I have been doing. Out of 5, we got one. So that's what we look into do. We look into work in blocks of 10. So we want to get 10 people through the process at a time. And out of that 10, we know that for sure we're going to be launching two. And so everybody, we all know the goal and the vision is Ruby, right?
Yes.
Okay?
Double eagle.
Double eagle, Ruby, right?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Also, we should be focusing on whatever qualification is coming up, Camargo Diamond, right? We all know whoever we need to get working and get that happening. Okay?
Yes,
And with that, we finish. Anything else? You're going to be doing the schedule?
The next week.
Next week. Okay, great. Next week. All right. So, Tallahassee, back to your phone team. And Anya, thank you for operating the computer today. First time.
Bye.
Awesome tutor.
All right.
Go on, take your food.
Yes. Toodles, bye. Bye, toodles.
Oh, that's me.
Yes. Toodles.
All right.
All right. Okay. All right, let's start.